And here we are in Warner Robins, Georgia. And where are we?
We're at Heroes and Villains. My name's Don. We've been in business for 16 years, 7 in this location.
And so what makes this store so unique?
I think it's the community. It's mainly military with some, and so we get a lot of constant influx of new people. We play a lot of different games, so that attracts different people. It's a family. It's what it really is, and that's what everybody likes about it. You come in, everybody's like Cheers, the old show Cheers. Everybody knows your name, kind of thing. So that's what we like about it.
Yeah, we're looking around the store, and there's a little bit of everything, especially vintage comics. Tell us about the wall.
The wall consists of, we've got everything over there from early Fantastic Four. I think there's a issue number 4 over there. We've got a little bit of everything. It's constantly rotating as stuff comes off, more stuff goes on. So
I'm seeing a lot of key issues there.
Yeah, we try. Obviously, older comics are getting to be a novelty because they're either not taken care of or just nobody's bringing them in. With the advent of the collector's market, people are selling them online themselves, so we don't see them as often. So it's always a nice change when we get some good comics in.
Now, how did you get into comics personally?
Me, kind of just on a whim. I was a big fantasy person, so I read a lot of Conan and Warlord back in the day. Just gravitated from there. I used to not do comics or superhero comics, but over time you run out of stuff to read. You got to change venues. So now I just read just about anything. So,
were you into gaming as well?
I didn't get into gaming, and honestly, until I was 11 or so with Dungeons & Dragons. That was the gaming back when I was younger. So the amount of games that we have at our disposal now as gamers is fantastic. I mean, any genre, any idea, there's something out there for you.
How do you think the gaming culture of the 70s and 80s has affected the gaming culture today? Because as we're looking around the store, you have a ton of gaming tables too.
Yeah, I believe that board games, Dungeons & Dragons, war games have changed. Dungeons & Dragons have changed, and all that stuff has spawned hybrids. Magic in the 90s has spawned multitudes of card games, and so everything is offshoot of some of that, a little bit of, we take the best from this, best from that, and we've made a new game. So there's always new stuff coming out, and it's really a great time to be a gamer.
So we're talking about how sometimes people bring in comics. What are some of the most amazing comics that people have brought in?
I have personally seen people bring in an Avengers #1, which is pretty, the condition it was in, it was over $1,000, which is pretty awesome. I've seen just lots of stuff. I mean, the guy had a whole run of old Avengers, so that was really cool to see. It's things you've read about, seen them. Very seldom do you get to put your hands on those kind of comics in that condition. So
yeah,
that's always good.
Have there been any crazy situations that come up in the store?
Well, we don't have that much time. There's always stuff coming in all the time. We had somebody, we were talking about this the other day, we had somebody bring in this old Roman coin, and the story is really elaborate. But basically he had gotten it from somebody who'd gotten it from somebody who'd stolen it from somebody, but the coin itself was 900 AD, something like that. So pretty impressive coin. But
why would he bring that to a comic book store?
No clue. He didn't know where to get rid of it, and we said we don't know where to send you. So, but yeah, stuff like that comes in all the time. Like I said, the list of stories that we could tell, that would be a whole entire podcast by itself.
So as we look around, we see you have a mix of the old and the new, and everywhere in between. I mean, this is whenever we come through south of Atlanta, we make sure we stop at this store. How do you think the comic book culture has changed over the years, and what do you see happening in the future because of these changes?
Well, you have a resurgence of variant covers and multiple different issues like acetate covers, very similar to what we had in the 90s. And constant reboots and restarts. So what it's doing is it's forcing people to really pick and choose what you can't pick and choose what they want to read, basically, and how much they want to go in on everything else. So it's definitely a reader's market as well. There's just about anything you can think of. If you have an interest, there's a comic book for that, which is great for comic books as a medium. But it's also daunting for new collectors because they're like, where do I start? And so we get that a lot with people coming in and go, I want to start. I'm fascinated by the movies. I want to start reading comics. Where should I start? Well, the best place to start is, with your favorite character or genre. But even that can be daunting. So it's good and bad. It's good for the people that want something in particular because they can always find it. It's bad for the new person that doesn't know where to start. We host a lot of trade paperbacks, which is, for people that don't know, it's kind of like a season of a show. You can sit down, read it, you get the whole story. Even if it's not the first one, it's usually self-contained. So that's where we tend to push new collectors.
And when we were growing up, that was virtually unheard of in the collector's market. And now I'm looking at your store. You have a massive selection of trade paperbacks.
Well, for a reader, if you're a reader, trade paperbacks are fantastic. For collectors, that want the individual issues, obviously we have a host of back issues too. But for people that just want to read the stories that they see on movies and TV, trade paperbacks are the way to go.
What do you think about trends in comic books of especially a lot of independent creators that are becoming more and more popular?
I think it's great. Like I said, you have any kind of genre. I'm a big advocate of the small press. I love Marvel and DC. Don't get me wrong, but some of the properties that with these smaller creator-owned companies, you get a lot of great titles that Marvel and DC just probably wouldn't never touch. So I'm a big fan of a lot of those. I read a lot of independents.
And you mentioned how TVs and movies, people are coming in the comic stores because of that. And we're seeing more Netflix and Hulu. They're tapping into the independent comic book market.
Oh, definitely. We try to stay on that. So when they say, hey, Netflix is opting us for a show, we start ordering the trades, putting those out so people can see it. Some people like to watch the show before they read the books. Other people, vice versa. So we try to, accommodate all those.
With regards to the variety that you have in the store, you also have miniatures, and that's a very unique aspect of gaming. You're selling paints, everything of Games Workshop. How is that market flourished for this area?
It's blowing up. Games Workshop itself's been around for 40 years or whatnot. It's always had a big fan base, but it's getting even bigger. They've streamlined the rules in the past few years, so it's allowing more and more people to come into the game. As far as other miniatures, Dungeons & Dragons has blown up in the past 5 or 6 years, and so we've just tried to incorporate everything that goes along with it. Minis, battle mats, dice, all that stuff. Any kind of paraphernalia that goes with that. We've sold dice trays.
And you have the leagues running too for D&D?
Yep. Actually, this is today. We have a small league presence here. We had 3 tables, if that's small. But our normal Adventure League nights Wednesdays, and it's usually standing room only.
That's fantastic. So we're seeing that cross-generation, especially. Like when we were growing up, there was very little of our parents that were into this. But I'm looking around the store, and you're seeing multiple generations getting into all this cool stuff.
Yep, that's very true. I've got people that are in their 40s, just like I've got, and same as I got people in their teens. It's numerous amount, different, all walks of life, all ages. So it's great.
So give us an idea of where your store is located and how far south from Atlanta are we exactly?
We're about an hour and 45 minutes. We're about 30 minutes south of Macon. We're located on Russell Parkway in the Kroger Shopping Center, 117, Suite F.
And what makes this place so cool that everyone should visit it?
It's just a great place to hang out. always have a good time. We got something going on all the time. You can always find something to do.
Do you do mail order as well?
We do ship comics, and we do have an eBay presence, so we ship comics and games and stuff through wherever.
Great. So we'll put a posting in our show notes of the website. Thanks again, Don. We love shopping here, and we're going to pick up some more stuff.
All right. Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our Facebook group. Live long, and may the force be with you. Nanu Nanu.